Okay, there we go. Bit louder than I mean it to be, so let's just turn it down a tidbit. Actually, never mind. No, my sound's just really loud. Like, is that like 28? I'm not sure why my sound's that loud. Might also turn the music up a tidbit. I also figured out what was causing some latency here. It was the fact that I had a lot of stuff set wrong, so it's like I fixed that now, so that shouldn't be a problem. Got the sound muted, all that on this. Yep, okay. Anyway, yeah, the main reason I haven't uploaded at all in a bit is I came down with a nasty bug. Been quite ill, haven't been able to talk as much as I usually would, haven't been able to at least hold my speech strongly enough to record anything, and the days where I could, it was just some weird flu, so I haven't really uploaded at all because of that. Because it was literally the very day where I was planning to record a bunch of stuff to upload in case any problems arise that the problem came around. Which is great, of course. I could do Breakout, I could do Galaxy City. You know what, I'm gonna try Breakouts. Of course, it's already taken. Now, what name did I use? What name did I plan to use because the others were taken? I just decided since the names were similar, let's just do a straight up reference. With this, just call him Sentient Eidolon. Play tutorial. No, why not? Just Galaxy City. Like, I did not realize this was actually a thing. I completely forgot this was even a thing in the game. Which is pretty cool, like, that you have, like, this happening. Of course, I always have an alternate attire ready, because I wasn't too sure on this, so I got two attires that I can just switch to if I feel like it. And my two starting powers is this, which is raise defenses. So we're going to turn that on. Hmm.
To select any enemy, left click on them or press tab.
Not sure what's going on here.
Your power in the power tray.
Info. It's literally not letting me use my power. Like, what? Is there a bug going on? Do I have to lower my shield? Oh yeah, I can't attack from my shield up. Okay, that makes sense. Not at all. Like, I don't get why that's a thing. Like, you think the point of having a shield would be able to be the fact that you can attack during it, you know? I guess that's meant to be more of a support-based move. I also went with Corruptor because I just felt like they might be a bit more interesting of a character to use than a regular old blaster. Like, it does sound like a more interesting character to use. Okay, so that's an interesting thing you can time to like maybe deflect an attack, disable it. So if you had that like a rapid recharge, you could probably do some sneaky stuff with that.
Blue Spectrum is hurt. He can absorb powers. Help him out by lending him some of your... What happened? I just lost contact with Blue Spectrum. You need to push forward. There's no time to lose. Talk to the official nearby to increase your powers.
Left-click on an NPC to begin interacting with
Okay,
it.
subdue.
Select train to next
But here's the
level
thing, I
choose
just wanted
new
to like
power.
just try out some different stuff. Subdue. Ugh. Not sure what's with my thing. Okay, subdue deals moderate psychic psionic damage and melee. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna go with the fast attacks.
Those monsters are blocking the teleportation system. Defeat them so you can get out of here.
You are now in a zone event. You can work together with other players towards a common goal.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to change the placement of some of these moves because that's actually a bit annoying, the placement. First of all, let's put you up here, put you here. Because I don't like the fact that, like, everything's so, like... I always like my ranged attacks to be closest. It also is technically the same character still, like, in terms of what I was going for. It's just, I sort of... I still have that character, I don't want to delete them. But I also want to sort of try different powers and stuff. What unfortunately you only can do, as far as I'm aware, I don't think there's actually a way to change your powers to the degree I wanted to do, just to check out, you know? The thing about this enemy is you literally just get right in their face and they're not really a problem. Actually, you know, now I think about it, the way I wanted to actually do this, the blaster probably would have worked better with the heavy melee idea. Oh well, never mind. Doesn't matter to me. Just an idea of doing a completely different character down the road. Ooh. You know, while we're at it, we might as well get, like, a proper look at them. Oh, that's actually quite a bit of range. So I'm just gonna say, the one problem with this boss is literally you either can get super close that they can't do anything, or you get super far that they can't do anything, you know? Which is kind of a problem with this character, like with this enemy. It's like, either they're too close or they're too far, you know? Which could create some issues. But yeah, I can just sit back here and do this over and over again. Not the most damaging thing, I'll admit, but actually no, I didn't forget to do that. I almost thought I didn't equip my second power, but I did. I'm literally looking at it, it's like, wow. But I always say this boss fight, not the best thought out positioning, because it's like you can just get right in their face and do this again and again. Though it is like it's an early mission boss, so I wouldn't expect them to be too difficult. It's like the later bosses in this game are way, way more difficult. But I do plan with like this, with me knowing what to do now for these missions, this stream to be a decent length, and for me not to mess up as much. Good thing we didn't have to go that whole health bar. That was taking a bit.
You did it! The giant Shivun is down! Something's not right. You're not in the longbow safe zone. Are you okay? Wait. Arachno! You're a villain. You won't get away with it.
But this time I'm gonna make sure to get the XP immediately, and also a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, customize appearance. Actually, I won't do that yet. Who are you? Ooh. First of all, let's do this mission to Sai, because I don't think I actually got this one before. Well, actually, first, I should probably go to the person to get more XP. Hmm. You know, zooming in the map probably would fix this problem. Get west. Oh yeah, it's this button to move. What is it? Quartermaster we talk to? Can't remember. No. Huh. Can't remember who to talk to. Oh, it's this person. There we go. But yeah, like, I just wanted to try a different power type, like, you know, different archetype. Just because Blaster just, it wasn't bad, it's just, I just wanted to try something different, is in all honesty why. That's literally 100% the reason. Because I tend to, like in most games, pick either really tanky people or Blaster characters, so I was like, you know what? Even if I suck at it, it's like, it would be interesting to get like a different type of character, you know? Also, let's get my shield going, so even if I run into an enemy area, it won't just immediately cause me issues. Oh wait, never mind. That is... I'll actually save that mission and do this first. I think this mission probably is better to do first. Because that is taking you out of the area. But I don't think that mission actually showed up before, did it? I don't remember. Did it show up before, or did I miss it? Oh yeah, first, take down shield. Oh, jeez. Yeah, my attack. Oh, there's the famous accuracy of this game. Like, that is one of my major issues with this game. It's like that accuracy is just so bad. Like, right off the bat, your accuracy is like, is something out of this world in how terrible it is. It would be nice if I had a flying power just to get right there. Well, that was relatively easy to do. Like, just like they need to like that is a giant issue here. Like these good guys need to hire people with a bit more guts. Because it feels like the slightest threat and they completely just break down into nothing. Like heroes should not be that like weak. I'm doing like no damage. What? Oh, I didn't mean to go after him, but okay. Well, 3 XP, so what does it matter? So I am gonna say, like, this game very much, at least in terms of powers, she does its animations, everything, the story and stuff is really good. Like I'm gonna say it straight up. Like the story of this game is great. Probably one of the better. I've mentioned this before, but it's like in comparison to other like games of this type, the story is way better than most games. Well, I knocked my mic, but yeah, it's just something about this, like like the accuracy of moves. That is the it makes me laugh to myself. Like how like you're this all-powerful villain, or you're meant to be like this super villain, and you can't aim with a life of you. It is a bit funny, like just how you're so inaccurate. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking like to get quicker moves, like instead of more powerful moves. You know, just so I can like just go pew 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 pretty much like over and over. Ooh, that was not sure what that was. Wait, didn't I swear I already armed you. Apparently, I had to arm you twice. Ah, that glorious inaccuracy. Anyway, let's go to contact. Well, first I actually need to get a level up, so we'll have to hold off on that. Because I'm about to have 2 level ups in a row, and I'd rather like get the level beforehand. I'm probably also going to save up on all enhancements and stuff, like until like much further level, you know? Because I feel like it's just not worth it at this point. Like, it's just not worth it. I think I've just came to that conclusion. Because yeah, well, early on, it will very much give you a good level of power. It's like, as time goes on, it's just no. No, I'm gonna go with that. Like, because I think that slows people down, so that's very much a more welcome thing, especially if you're facing like strong enemies. You want stuff to slow people down and immobilize them. I think that's very much that, and defense stuff is what I want to focus on in this character. Like defense stuff and immobilization. Oh, I forgot to activate the shield. I could have probably just gone and like knocked a few more of these guys out to get the XP to like level up, but let's just get in the base here. Like, it's still like these guards are nowhere near tough enough to stop me from getting in. And once again I've leveled up. Like it's literally I just level up, level up, level up constantly. It's like wow. Still not sure I can fit in this small thing. Like it's just how big you are and then you just become this small. Like there must be some really good disguise technology nowadays. Good I managed to mute that time because that's actually a really nasty heckle. Like wow. Whew. I can definitely still feel those after effects. How do you even know my name? It's like I'm not, my literal files are redacted, like straight up. Like, how do you know my name? I'm like brand new. No one knows anything about me, and that somehow you're like, yes, I know exactly who you are. It's just like, wow. Like, you guys must have some great sources. If only you could have more people like that on your team, you'd pretty much have eliminated all villains in like seconds. Like, but because you don't, you're constantly in like an eternal fight, you know? Because it's just like you just won't bring in the top guns. Also, I seem to have figured out how to get around like oh, I'm gonna go this way, not that way. I figured out how to stop like the thing freezing if I click off screen. It the sound of course cuts unfortunately, but I was real tempted just to straight up go neck snap in turn instead of saving him. But I get it, like, I just, like, you know what? Might as well keep him around for now. Just for the sake of it. Like, he's probably not gonna have any use, but it's like, might as well keep him around. Because I am thinking probably around level 15 I might get another attire. Like, I'm probably definitely going to do it, like, at certain levels. That way I can just build up a bunch of, like, currency to get them and then have currency left over for other stuff. Instead of having to, like, worry about. I swear I already did that. What? Huh? Apparently there's an ambush. Where? Oh, here. Like, is that sad that I didn't even notice you? Like, I think that's how, like, irrelevant they are. It's just, I didn't notice them, I just walked right past, like, it. But I ambushed the ambushers. Now, that is embarrassing. How do you ambush the ambushers? Not sure why it keeps doing that. Throat's tickly. Probably when we're here, I'll take a sip of water and hopefully that'll clear it up. Because that's going to be annoying to deal with for the entire stream otherwise. I'm just happy it's kind of cooler now. Like, the weather's been a lot cooler. So, it should be easier to stream as well. How do I keep getting stuck on things? Ugh, that's ugly. There's an ugly power. Like, no one likes that. Unless it gives you flight abilities. Nope, it's literally just a slide. That's an ugly power. So, well, let's go talk to Firewire. He's probably going to be useless. Actually, first let's level up. Because if I remember right, like, the guy was completely useless last time we had him. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Yeah, water. I literally said I was gonna do that, then I didn't. Okay, so Fierce Bolt is or Sonic Lance. So Sonic Lance, all that. Oh, train to next level. Literally just slapping all the stuff into subdue. Excuse me, that is not the contact I wanted to talk to. I wanted to talk to Firewire. I actually for a second thought that missed because it took a second for it to, like, detect. Oh, I was clicking 5 when I meant to be clicking floor 4. Thing is, I'm not even meaning to hit half the people I hit. Ooh. Yeah, I have no idea what's up with my... Well, actually, I do know what's up with my throat. Getting over a bug. But it's like, yeah, I didn't actually expect it to be that bad, because it's actually been mostly decent today. Mostly decent. But of course, there's still, like, the after effects and stuff, and it's like, what can you do? Oh, I actually started a mission this time, really? Because last time I don't think I actually started a mission. Like, last time I didn't actually start a mission, so that's kind of interesting. Like, I think I was the same level as well, wasn't I? So I have no idea. Maybe it's like I was over leveled or something. Now I'm confused. Hmm. No, I don't fire psychic or whatever. Ugh. Actually, no, as we're playing a superhero game, like, as a villain and all that, like, this actually be a perfect time to talk about this. I was reading some stuff. Actually, it was a video I watched and reading some stuff, so it was two stuff. And, like, there was a thing I came across that just annoyed me to no belief. Because while I get, like, people are very mixed on their opinions of the character known as the Sentry from Marvel. A lot of people call him just another Marvel Superman despite his backstory, his entire power set, and everything being completely unlike Superman, and I'm pretty sure it's literally just because he is a, quotation marks, demigod character who has an S that people compare him to Superman, which I find is a bit weird, but yeah. I guess people are free to have their own opinions. Like, I can see the resemblance, in all honesty. But yeah, I was listening to someone talk about it, and, like, them versus, I forget who it was, but it was, like, I think it was this Steve C character. I forget the name, but it was, like, this, no, it was, a guy who apparently could cut, reality or something. And I was just like, so wait, this guy merely can cut reality and you think that's gonna beat the Sentry? Like, I'll admit, like, I would very much say the fight probably, if anything, would have been a draw or a technical victory, you know? Because I don't believe either one would probably, like, depend on the scenario. Because that's the thing, it just feels like people, when it involves the Sentry, either blatantly lowball his powers or, like, clearly, deliberately, and almost maliciously, misrepresent it. Because I just find it weird, like, that people forget one of the Sentry's largest feats that I admit he never duplicated. But as far as we know, that's, like, the gold standard. Like, it's the, this is Sentry, like, one sec. Mute my mic so you didn't have to hear that. As I was saying, like, with the Sentry, it's like, this is, like, his power, this is how it works. And whether you like it or not, that is going to be a factor. And it's like, I always find it weird that people compare the Sentry to like Superman when he's far more like Doomsday in my opinion, like in how his powers work. I would say he's far closer to Doomsday. If anything, I would say he's like Doomsday, but technically a good guy. But anyway, the point I was making is like, I, I personally, in my opinion, don't think a person who could cut reality could kill someone who is immune to reality erasure. Like, that is my personal opinion. I don't believe like someone with reality erasure could actually kill someone with immunity to reality erasure. Like someone who can pretty much reality erase can kill people who shouldn't be killed, can kill concepts and that. I personally just am of the opinion that it just it's a little weird, you know. It's a little weird that people don't think that kind of power through. Like, I guess like people could say it's a ridiculous power and it's not very balanced, but the thing is, it doesn't matter if power is balanced. You gotta represent it correctly. Like that's what always annoys me. Like people go on about how their favorite character is misrepresented and then they misrepresent other characters. I feel like if you're gonna do two characters, especially in like a versus type thing, you need to represent them both appropriately. It's like where I saw someone do I believe it was Super Adaptoid versus, was it Nimrod? Yeah, Nimrod. And they pretty much admitted, like the guy who was pro Super Adaptoid admitted in the end, yeah, Nimrod would win by a mile. Like he admitted that because I'm not sure what that immediately happened, but okay. But he pretty much in the end admitted, yeah, actually Nimrod would win, like it, and it's very much that, like that is personally, I just feel like the best way to do it, have both people from both sides list off like the powers and such and the factual data of a character, actually give like quotes and stuff and like evidence from where the stuff comes from. I feel like that's the better way to do versus. I always find like the, oh, this person did this, but in what context did they do it? Is it a natural power? There's like the Sentry is virtually immune to reality erasure. He has shown an immunity to reality erasure. It doesn't mean he can't be killed. Like there are, like he can be killed. It's just the thing of remaining dead is always the question. That's always been my problem with like death battle type stuff, or like the whole versus thing. It's, what if you have a character whose whole gimmick is coming back from the dead, or like is the fact they are unkillable in a technicality? Like I've always found that personally a bit of a conundrum, because it's like, if you're purely doing it if the person dies overall that they lose, then like you're taking away one of their biggest power things. But at least then if you blatantly state that thing, I could be like, okay, in that scenario, then yes. If you're just doing first death, no resurrections, then yes, this person would win. Because a lot of times these people don't actually state that. They just say who would win in an all-out match, and that usually implies that, oh, you're going to be using every power. And like with the Sentry, it's just that character uniquely seems to have 90% of his power set ignored. Though I'll admit most writers also ignore 90% of his power sets. Like I can't even list all his powers because that's how ignored a lot of his powers are. So I'll admit, like, it's fair to ignore a lot of his powers because it's like they just seem to be like a classic Superman where it was a power for a day that then would never be brought up again, and I find that kind of thing's fair. But the Sentry has been shown repeatedly to be immune to all forms of death. So it's just like, in that scenario, I'm just like, yeah, he's literally immune to all forms of death, straight up. Like, including reality erasure, like timeline alterations and stuff. So it just seems a bit weird, you know. It is a bit weird. But I'll say there's mobile cases like Silver Surfer, classically under-recognized character as well. Like Silver Surfer is one of the most under-recognized characters, I would agree. Like, because I honestly believe quite a few characters, mainly because they just aren't the mainstream. The mainstream are under-recognized. Like Reed Richards, like he's mainstream and his intelligence gets underrated a lot by people. It's the same with Tony Stark. A lot of his intelligence gets underrated, but then again, Tony Stark has a history of like his stuff not working as well. So I think that's a bit more of a fairer like representation. Like, yes, he's smart, but he has a history of a lot of his stuff not working. But then that's usually against guys like the Hulk, who are incredibly powerful in their own right. And it's like, I'm not sure why I'm going in this whole opinion about like versus. But I just think the versus community overall is it's a bit ridiculous how they like just refuse to acknowledge any weakness. Because I'll say with the Sentry, do I believe he's nigh invincible? Like, if you're just going for a straight up versus, like, no resurrections, no, I believe quite a few people would beat him, but definitely, like, the Sentry is more a psychological battle that I would say mostly, like, the highest tier telepaths could probably beat him. Very much, like, the highest tier telepaths, but outside of that, I don't, like, and why I say highest tiers, because even people like Emma Frost have shown extreme weakness to the mind as a Sentry. Even Doctor Strange, with like all his magic, like at least the void half of the Sentry showed to be a problem for like the man. So it's like, yeah, you still have to take this stuff into account, you know. Then again, when the Sentry has such inconsistent like power scaling, especially with like Null, where it's like I just call that plot induced. Well, I'm not gonna say what I consider it because it's not very polite, but let's just say my opinion of writers who like completely ignore power sets and ignore history and don't bother to do any checking, and the editors who allow them to do that is like, it is stupid. It's just like, come on, really? Like, I'm not even sure what the mess of King and Black personally just feels like a fan fiction when I heard about it, because it's like, so we got symbiote god, yeah, with sword that is in the future used by a guy to kill all the gods, is actually belongs to this almighty primordial god who, like, being who created all the symbiotes, who uses a sentinel to increase its power, but the Sentry literally straight up destroyed the sentinel, and the Sentry's immune to death and also perfectly merged with the void, and yet somehow he gets written half the void gets drained and he stays dead. It's like, yeah, that's just bad research from a writer, in my opinion. Like, even writers, like, don't, like, I would say most characters get heavily disrespected, like, Silver Surfer, Thor especially, like, I will agree Thor, like, a lot of times his powers are just so inconsistent, and he's just treated weirdly, depending on the writer. I personally feel it depends on who's the person talking and who's the writer, whether something is well done. Like, a lot of writers at Marvel nowadays, I would just personally say, are just bad. Like, there's not many good things coming out of comics in general. At least what I'm aware of, like, because literally I was trying to get into comics, and it's just like, I look at this stuff and I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time with these stories if it's just they're not going to respect the characters, you know? But that's always been a thing. Like, I don't like any characters, like, just getting randomly treated like they're completely incompetent. Or else I'm going to deal with all of you. But yeah, it's just like, I feel like a lot of characters get, like, I'm not even sure you call a lot of this stuff nowadays plot-induced stupidity. It's just plot-induced, like, powerlessness. It's like plot armor to an extreme, it just feels like nowadays. But that's just the problem in my opinion. It's like just a lot of people don't bother researching the characters. It's like with what they did to Cyclops in X-Men, like back during the whole what was it, like Avengers versus X-Men type thing, I was just like, really? Really? Is sort of what my response was. Like, it's just like, come on. No, no, honestly, when I saw like the thing, it was just like it because mainly I remember Cyclops personally from like the animated series, like the really good one. I think it was just the anime series with the really good theme, like the that one, the really good theme, like that version, and it just annoyed me, like how they like completely butchered the character that I recognized from my younger years. Like, well, I was still young back then, but it's like it was just how can you butcher this character so heavily. Like, it just annoyed me to a degree that I didn't think possible. It was just like, how can you butcher a guy so hard? I guess you could just say I'm the person who doesn't like extreme personality changes to a character. Like, even if it makes a good story, I just personally believe that extreme personality changes tend to, especially like considering like if the character's a standard for multiple years, like that it can very much completely ruin a character, and I don't think Cyclops has ever recovered from that, in all honesty. It's like with Hank Pym Ant-Man, he hasn't recovered from stuff that they did stupid with him. Like, a lot of characters haven't recovered from a lot of stupid stuff they've done with them. Like, I think the only character who's really managed to ever recover from complete character assassination is Superman. Like, I think he's literally the only guy who's recovered from it. And it's because it's Superman. Like, it's hyper hard to, like, character assassinate Superman. He's, like, one of the icons of the industry. Like, you could do so much rubbish with him, and, like, he would still, like, just completely be immune to any negative effects. I honestly believe. Like, you could early destroy Superman, but give it, like, 5 years. A few good writers and stuff, like, you'll probably fix all the problems. So DC has the advantage of being able to, like, reboot their continuity, where Marvel seems so extremely reluctant to actually reboot continuity. Like, to a ridiculous degree, they don't want to reboot continuity. I honestly don't understand why Marvel absolutely refuses to reboot and, like, people cannot say the whole Secret Wars 2 is a reboot to continuity either. Like, that was not a continuity reboot. That was straight up just a fake reboot, in my opinion, because it's the same canon. It's like they just recreate the same universe with other people's universes rolled in. It's like it's the same universe. Like, the only time I think there's been a real continuity reboot in Marvel was like one of the most hated storylines anyway. So that's maybe why. Actually, there's been two complete continuity reboots, and they both were hated. So I can understand why maybe Marvel's a bit reluctant to do a reboot. But in all honesty, with all the stuff they've done outside of very particular things, like what are really good, I honestly do believe, even those good things, it sort of like puts the characters in a position where it's like, well, we can't make them weaker now, and every enemy's just gonna get steamrolled by them. So I feel like Marvel's best option at this point is just continuity reboot completely. I honestly believe that. Like, I feel like just it's all around, like, nothing makes sense, nothing's, like, has been taken care of properly, and I'm clicking the wrong button, no wonder I'm having problems. So is this infinite, like, teleport in? Excuse me. But yeah, like, I feel like that is DC's massive advantage over Marvel. Is just like, they could be like, okay, this sale is sucking, our story is sucking, we need some way to bring the audience back in. Okay, we'll, even if it's an empty promise, we'll say we'll do a massive continuity reboot where we're gonna undo all the big problems, and then probably a year down the road, we'll bring back like half the problems. And people will cheer it because it's like, oh, look, they fixed the problem, they're listening to us. And it's like, well, I guess they did technically. They did technically listen to you. I just find it amusing, you know. I just wish I could just put my shield up and do this. They literally can't hurt me while it's like this, I'm pretty sure. Oh, apparently they can hurt me. I'm guessing melee gets through my shields or something. But yeah, I honestly do believe DC has the advantage in continuity reboots, you know? Like, they're not as scared to do it. Excuse me, what? Really? Water? Okay. But yeah, I honestly do believe, like, that is the big advantage of DC. It's like, because most companies just go, even though the continuity is completely broken, despite us completely ruining the thing, and just people are going to get more annoyed if we just completely redo the plot, or like just say, oh well, actually it didn't actually happen like this actually happened. Like, I feel like that kind of mentality is just like, yeah, you might as well just retcon it blatantly and just say, okay, we're no longer going to count this story as canon or something, or we're just going to restart. In all honesty, you might as well just do if you're just going to do such heavy retcons usually to a retcon. Like, retconning retcons is always a terrible idea because it's like, it's just, it just damages stuff so much. Like, retcons in general are bad ideas. It's like, just make a new universe, in all honesty, is what I like. Where Marvel made the Ultimate Universe was a great idea, where it's like, yeah, they literally just made a new universe to fix the problems where they wanted to do alternate versions of characters. Yeah, it didn't go completely well, but it's like, still, they tried, and then they gave up ever doing that again, outside of like maybe one temporary attempt that they gave up on super quickly. It just feels like quite amusing how like Marvel in comics just seem to never want to do actual reboots. They just do these sort of reboots, but they're not. So I'm thinking one day, hopefully, we'll... Okay, I didn't have time to mute my mic for that one. So I think one day Marvel will do a straight up reboot. I honestly believe that. I feel like it's like, either they'll just ignore giant parts of their history and just be like, yeah, that didn't happen. Like they did with certain plot points where they just ignore their entire existence. Like, because I swear there was like an entire plot point where like Mr. Sinister made a Scott Summers inhuman hybrid like mutant clone, and it's just like, what happened to that kind of like? Did Mr. Sinister just go, one attempt's good enough, never do it? Like, I always find that weird. It's like villains only try something once. It's like it's nearly successful, and you have the resources to do it multiple times, and then you just never try it again. Like, as far as I'm aware, they never tried it again. But it's just like, it's an interesting concept. Then there's the whole Terrigen Mist thing. They just dropped that completely, as far as I'm aware. Like, a lot of things where it's just like, tensions completely disappear, and there's never an issue again. Like, yes. I get it's like comics, but it's just like, come on. It's just like, I feel like they raise the stakes too much a lot of times. Like, I think that's the problem with modern comics, because Marvel, a lot of people considered it more grounded a lot of times, except from like the big events. Nowadays, though, it's like they seem to just be trying to be DC, but more extreme. And as everyone knows, you should never try and out DC because it's a terrible idea. Even DC can't out DC, and they've tried that. I just feel like Marvel, like, the point I'm trying to get to is Marvel should stick to its strengths, which are a bit more, yeah, not completely grounded, but a bit more grounded, like, in terms of power levels, where, like, very few characters, like, maybe a 4 stuff. Like, that's really what Marvel felt like they were trying to do with a lot of characters, where it's like, even like Spider-Man's like being the god tier type stuff now, and Venom's being in god tier type stuff, and it's like, why? Why Venom? Why is Venom facing super aliens? Of all people. Like, I'd get Iron Man, at least he can like build some super good armor, but Venom, it's like, why is he doing god tier stuff? Why is there like some super god of the symbiotes? It's just like, this kind of stuff just feels a bit weird to me. It's like, I guess maybe I'm just of that thing where it's just like comics now just feel ridiculous to me. Like how they do stuff. Maybe it's just they're not for me anymore. But then again, I do like ridiculously overpowered characters. Like, I like myself some Superman. I like myself some Green Lantern. I like myself some All Might. I like myself all of that stuff. Yet it just feels like with Marvel, with a lot of their characters, they're just boring. Boring or disrespectful is really Marvel right now. No idea why I've been rambling about this for the past while. Like, I feel like this entire stream so far has been me talking about me being sick, or me rambling about my dislike of power scaling and, well, Marvel's terrible continuity. Because, like, Marvel has some terrible continuity. Like, I think that's a fair point to make. But it's not exactly untrue that Marvel has some awful continuity. Wait, why are they randomly fighting each other? Okay. Was that a player? No idea, they just randomly started fighting. I was in all the circles thing, so they were fighting each other. I get. Like, I actually was confused for a second there. But time to focus back at the game, but it's like, yeah. Actually, one last thing to say about Marvel. Like, I actually love a lot of Marvel stuff. It's just their continuity's bad, really. Like, they completely ruined their continuity in the past 10 years. Really, they have. Well, actually, it's more the past 6 years, but yeah. Anyway, let's focus back on this now, because I've gone about that long enough. I'm gonna have quite a few level ups to do after this mission. Like, I've just subconsciously been doing these missions, and now I've got quite a few level ups to stacked. Like, there's just so many level ups stacked. Okay, let's do that first. I keep knocking my mic. But yeah, nearly level 10 already. Like, this been going pretty well now I know how to do stuff. Apparently... Oh, wait. I get it. I'll just walk then. We're just gonna do a long walk. Like, I was wondering if there were, like, quests up in this area of the map, and it turns out there are. How do I get up without, like... Is there an elevator? Oh, yeah. Okay, level up. Like, area of effect sounds fun. Oh, excuse me. Actually, no, I can go here and get flight finally. There we go, flight. Finally. Well, that's good. I can finally fly now. What's going to make traveling around a lot easier. Now let's go do this mission. Can't click for some reason. Uh, Oh, is the mission only for low-level people or something? Because I seem to unable to be clicking on this. Hmm. Like, I seem completely unable to actually enter the vehicle now. Oh no, I have to click on that tiny ladder. That's awkward. Like, that's just badly placed. Like, you think the big door would be where you click. Ooh, that just... I think utterly disintegrate both of them, like, just screaming. I'm actually really starting to like this moveset though. Like, it feels a lot better and I feel a lot less squishy with this moveset. Like, I feel a lot less squishy, what is weird, because I'm pretty sure their survivability is exactly the same. So I have no idea why I feel less squishy with this. Might be because I can make their attacks slow, and so it's probably making it so they can't do as much damage in a short amount of time. Okay, so it's all in this area. Ah, down here. Yeah, it shouldn't stab employees who could send someone like me in the back. Because I'll just come in and completely decimate you. Like, really, what were they thinking? It's like, come on, do you see me? Do you really think it's a good idea to betray your leaders? Hmm, can't call them. Okay, so I have to fly over. Actually, don't have enough to level up yet. I'm not sure if I'm liking the reddish color, like, but there's no real color of, like, there's no real color to, or at least I'm not really sure about the red and black, but there's no real other color that goes well with red, like with this kind of design. That doesn't make it, like, look silly. And that's the major problem with this. Like, there's not many colors that go with it that don't make it look silly. Like, a group attack, like, that's always great. Like, just being able to take out an entire group. Oh, wait, there's a hole in the ground. Ah, okay. Hole in the ground. No guards at the entrance. Bad show right here. No guards. I expected some welcoming party. Well, I guess who's gonna jump in a random hole in the ground and expect it to lead to a giant tunnel network? I guess there's that intelligent approach. And it is a bunch of snakes, so that's also another thing. But yeah, I think the change to Corruptor very much is quite much. It does works better with the power set that I wanted to use. Like, the shield power is completely useless in all honesty, though. Like, wow, I actually didn't expect it to be that useless. I'm going to be honest. I got enough to. Oh, jeez, they're destroying my health. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, come on. Yeah. The kill as you're being killed thing always is like a why? Uh, why me? I literally get the kill and I still die. Probably should have grabbed some medical, but yeah, I should have probably grabbed some medical now I think about it. But what can you do? Yeah, I should have probably grabbed some medical now I think about it. Also, I think I need to turn sound up a bit more, as it feels really quiet. So just testing it, it's like, yeah, that sounded really quiet. So I've turned sound up a bit, but it's like, there's only so much I can do with sound. And again, keep accidentally opening the wrong screen, along with this one. Like, you click off to check your sound, and you click on the wrong thing along with this, and it's like, yeah. But yeah. Still, I actually want to know how long I was just babbling on about versus people and the Marvel continuity being trashed. I actually want to know how long I was doing that for. It was probably a good half an hour, maybe longer. Of course, accuracy, woohoo, so great. Not completely stupid at all. Doesn't matter because he got so slowed down that he couldn't even hit anything. So it's like, yeah, doesn't matter if Max 3's terrible, you literally take so long to hit your moves. But yeah, let's start this at range. That's my health bar gone. And this is why I wanted to grab medical. Okay, you were not even in range there when you hit me. Come on. Game, like, they're already destroying my health bar. You don't need to, like, give them super reach. Like Mr. Elastic, like arms. Just give me a bunch of heals, that's better. Flight's actually kind of useless here as well. Like, I was hoping I'll be able to use flight or something. I was thinking, and I was like, actually, no, that's not going to work, is it? Because the ceiling is just too short that, like, even if I flew, like, the ceiling would be blocking my sight constantly. Oh, you moved pretty quick, fella. But yeah, like, my sight would constantly be blocked, and, like, I would probably still be hittable anyway. So it'd just be completely useless anyway. Should have probably done the double attack to get some damage, because it's kind of useless to do it when you only have one enemy. But kind of pointless anyway. Not useless, any damage is good. Yeah, I need to quickly pop off for a second there. So I just muted my mic because I wasn't sure if it was like me just gonna pop to check something or properly pop off. Then nah, I literally went away for 2 seconds and it was like, yeah, everything's fine here. I actually remember in this game, I think it was on the hero side. Yeah, it was on the hero side. There was like this enemy that I swear lowered your accuracy, and I like was losing my mind because of how bad accuracy tends to be anyway. And it was like, oh come on, you have to be joking. Are you kidding me? Like with all those attacks that's repeatedly missing. Looks like I'm doing it anyway. You know what? Oh, I expect that. I hope I don't aggro every enemy in the area. So I don't think I can target that many people from that far, so it should be fine. But still, it's like I was sort of like, let's hope nothing bad happens here. There we go, mission complete. Easy money. Easy money. I might do Dr. Greaves actually after this mission. Because I have like 3 people I can just go talk to at any time. And oh my goodness, there's actually quite a few people in Velen today. That's like 3, 4 people. That's more than usual. Yeah, I'll leave you saved and then let's go talk to you. Not sure why his base has still got a bunch of superheroes around it. That's just like, Okay, I talked to Omnicore. Oh, like we've all done this before, so it's like we now works. And I'm guessing Dollface is back here. Well, my pals are literally redacted, so that's going to be interesting for you. Anyway, let's go find this madman. Now, literally, when I originally played through this part, I was like, I'm not sure this guy's confessing to me or if he's just straight up insane. Yeah. Nasty. I guess in this could actually be seen as an ingenious ploy to learn our powers. Yeah, okay. But yeah, this has actually been going a lot better and quicker and like well than I thought it would, you know. Like I thought this would go absolutely terrible, you know. But because like that's how the original one went, but it seems like now I know all this stuff and how to do stuff. Like it's actually gone pretty well. Actually, how long's this stream been going? You know what, like, despite the fact that I planned originally to do a longer stream, I'm just looking at the time now and it's like, yeah, maybe I'll end it. So, like, next time we'll be continuing with the Dr. Graves. I kept calling him Greaves, he's Graves. Okay. Like, we'll continue with that. I originally planned to get to level 10, but I just feel like, looking at the time, yeah, maybe, like, we can just end it here. Anyway, if you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, all that, and subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and turn it to max. That has been all from me, Angelo, and I will see you in the next one.